So in today's video, we're going to talk about the ugly truths of living in the greater Phoenix area. A lot of the Instagram photos, posts, everything are all about the great weather, the desert scenery, the sunshine, the outdoor living and everything. But let's not forget that we have a dark side to Phoenix too. So in today's video, we're going to talk about some of the ugly truths about living in the greater Phoenix area, or as it's well known, the Valley of the Sun. So hit the like button if you like the information, subscribe to the channel, take a look at some of our other videos, and let's get into the information. So from the scorching summer heat that will melt you alive, yes, you can cook a fried egg on the sidewalk, to desert critters that are going to be coming into your area, maybe even your backyard. Today we're going to go into the gritty underbelly of living in the greater Phoenix area. So let's start out with the number one thing that everybody hates. Scorching summer heat. In Phoenix, it doesn't just get hot, it's dry and hot. Ever hold a blow dryer to your face? We're not kidding here. It's on a level you've never experienced before. Can you imagine if it was over 100 degrees for over 60 days? That can happen. Last year we had like 26 days over 110. You know what else we have that people don't realize? It doesn't cool down at night. During the deepest, darkest, hottest days of summer, with monsoon kicking in, it may not get below 100 all night long. You'll wake up in the morning, maybe you have 2 or 3 hours of relief. Maybe it drops 10 degrees, but it's still 90 plus, and over 100 maybe by noon. You're going to get bathed in a layer of sun that you've never experienced before. People that want to worship the sun, you're going to have it. You're going to touch your steering wheel and burn your hand. You're going to be looking for shade anytime you park your car. It's not just hot in the air. That sun is really, really hot. You could stick a marshmallow out your window and possibly even melt the marshmallow. Now it only goes up from there. You have to leave the area. All the buildings, all the roadways, everything gets heated up by that hot sun during the day, and it doesn't cool down. It doesn't have the chance to cool down. You're going to have 300 plus days of sun. Eventually, you're going to look for a cloudy day and be really excited about it. Would you have ever thought that people would be happy for a cloudy day? We love them here. We love rain here. We can't wait till it rains. The one thing we love about our monsoon season, which is our rainy season, is the fact that we're going to get a little bit of relief from the heat. Now, the next thing you got to get used to is Mr. Electric Company, because your air conditioning is going to run on electric, and your air conditioner is going to run 24/7 for many months of the year. That thing's going to be blowing in your face. You're going to get sore throats. You're going to get dry eyes. You're going to get tired of hearing that air conditioner kick on, and every time it kicks on, you know what you're going to be thinking about? Money, because your bill's going to be running up. Do you know that most houses here have up to 3 air conditioners? That's no joke. If you're over 2,500 square feet, 3,000, you're going to probably have 2 air conditioners or more. And if you have anything near 5,000 square feet, you're going to probably have 4 air conditioner units on your house. The next thing we're going to talk about with the weather is the monsoon season. We have some major storms here in the middle of the summer. They usually start around the middle of July, and most periods when you have over 100 degrees, for a constant period, I don't even know what the math is, and you start to get moisture into the air, that's when you're going to have it. These storms come on hot and heavy, and when they come, you could experience wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour. Things are going to be blowing all over, and since we have a lot of dirt here, dust, you're going to have dust storms like you've never seen. It's almost like getting sandblasted. Just depends on where you live. It's going to be really hard to drive during these periods, and you're not going to know what to do. You're going to have a lot of lightning storms, though, which are really cool. But when that rain comes down on that dry desert land, it's not going to absorb in. It's going to run all over the place. So if you see a place that's flooded during the storms, do not drive through it. Especially don't drive through it at high speeds. People try it all the time and their cars get swept away. There's going to be areas of town where they are going to get flooded out. Up into some of the desert areas that are more remote, you may need a 4x4 to get to your home, and that's no joke. The one thing that we tell people here is if you can stay home when it's raining, stay home. You know why? People here are not good drivers with bad weather. They're so used to having 300 days a year of sun. They don't know how to drive when it rains, and if they do drive, they're probably driving too fast and their tires can't handle the traction and are going to hydroplane. There's going to be a lot of crazy drivers here too because we have a lot of drivers from other states. And you know what? Yeah, we have road rage here. When you're hot and you're sitting in your car in that heat or you had a long day of work in that sun, you're not a happy camper. You need to keep a lot of cold water near you, and if someone cuts you off, there's a chance for road rage. So be careful with that. The next thing here, desert creatures, you're going to find them here. Yes, there's snakes, there's rodents, there's coyotes, there's bobcats. Some areas there's even mountain lions. But there's a good chance you're going to run across them somewhere. Some areas have javelinas, which are wild pigs, and if you leave your garbage can out at night, they're going to knock them over. Could you walk out into your backyard and find a rattlesnake living there? Certainly you could. We also have a lot of big scorpions. We have black widows. We have other types of snakes. And coyotes are very common here. Every now and then I like to go out in my yard early in the morning. I'm a morning person and I get up at 4 a.m. and I'll have coyotes chasing the rabbits in my backyard. I don't know how they get in and out of my backyard because my fence is 7 feet tall, but they get in and out of there. The one thing that you're not going to have as many of here would be bugs. We don't have a ton of bugs here because it's basically too hot. We don't have a ton of flies, but we do have them, and we do have some mosquitoes. The one thing you definitely don't want to mess with here are the rattlesnakes. Now there's many areas of the valley where you're never going to see one, but if you go into some of the remote areas, you're probably going to run into one now and then. Next thing we're going to talk about transportation. Public transportation here is very minimal. Phoenix is very spread out. It wasn't ever meant to be this populated, and when they started building the buildings and the blocks, they were spread out far apart. One thing that you're going to value here is your car, and the car is going to be important for you to get around, and you're going to need a reliable car with good air conditioning. You can often see people in the summer driving with their windows down, and that is not pretty, and that is not going to be a good experience, especially if it starts to rain and you have to roll up your window. There's a lot of strip malls here, there's a lot of shopping and office, but it's not connected. You can't just jump on a bus and go from place to place. And with some of the trains around town, you may just encounter a lot of homeless people that are on the trains just to experience the air conditioning in the summer. Now, gas is expensive here. You know why? We buy our gas from California, and everything in California is overpriced. Now, in the summer, you're going to stay in your home a lot longer, so you're going to want to take care of your air conditioning on your home too. You need to do maintenance on it, and your electric company. Another thing to consider here with the heat is the electrical bill. That's probably going to be your highest bill. They're going to try to put you on a plan to save you money, but just remember when that bill comes in, you're probably not going to be happy with what it costs. So Phoenix traffic. Traffic is one thing, but sitting in traffic in the middle of the summer with that heat bearing down on your car, it's not enjoyable. Going out to your car after you've been in your office all day with freezing cold air conditioning and getting into that hot car, that's not fun either. And again, the heat here is a dry heat, but it's a hot heat. You can't go down the road and stick your head out the window because it's going to be like a blow dryer on steroids hitting you in the face. So the other thing that people forget about when they move here as far as traffic is concerned, we have a ton of people that come to this city. Millions and millions of people, tens of millions during the winter. We have our winter visitors here that like to come and enjoy the nice weather we have in the winter. So you're going to experience a lot more traffic. It's not just traffic on the roadways. You're going to have busy restaurants and all the events are going to be busy. So you're going to be waiting to get into a lot of these things. One thing that people do love here in the summer is the fact they can get into any restaurant that they want, and there's a lot of great happy hours. Now during the season, we're going to have spring training, so we're going to have people coming in to watch baseball. We're going to have TPC golf. We have the Super Bowl every couple years. We have the NCAA Final Four here every couple years. There's so many things that go on in this valley, concerts. You're going to have a lot more people here during the winter, so your living experience during the winter is not going to be as great, other than the fact that during that time you won't have that hot steaming summer. The worst months for me in Arizona to live, though, are August through the middle of October. That's when we have our rainy season, so not only is it very hot, over 100 degrees, but we have higher humidity. And when the storms come, it's great. It cools down the area for about 24 to 48 hours, but then the sun will come back out and heat it all up again until we have our next rain. The cost of living here, let's talk about that. That's one of the things that the locals really hate. We have a lot of people that have moved here from California and Seattle, Washington, and when they come over, the fact that it's been so much cheaper here for them, they have risen the prices up substantially. The average median home price in 2020 was about $350,000 and now it's closer to $500,000. Rents, going back to 2019, on a two-bedroom condo in Scottsdale were probably about $1,000 per month. Now they're closer to $2,000 per month. We've had all the hedge funds, the Wall Street people coming in and buying up a bunch of single-family homes here, driving up the prices for first-time home buyers, which we really hate. We want everybody to be able to have a home if they can afford it, and we don't want home prices unsustainable for most people. The one thing that hasn't gone up here like it has in other areas, you won't find the Silicon Valley, California pay here. Pay has not kept up with the cost of living here. The only way people are able to afford it is they're coming from a more expensive state, and a lot of people that have worked from home are able to afford more because they're coming from an area with higher pay. The other thing that happens here a lot is you have a lot of the younger generation that are going to team up and make roommates so that they can afford the rents in some of the better areas. Now, before you write off Phoenix, I want to be brutally honest with you. This is my favorite place I've ever lived. I moved here from the Chicago suburbs. I lived in Atlanta, Georgia, which was a step up as far as weather from Chicago. I love living here. I've traveled all over the world and I really enjoy the greater Phoenix area. I live in Scottsdale on the border of Paradise Valley, and I just love everything about this place except those couple hot summer months. Overall, I think that the beautiful skies that we have here, I love seeing the mountains, I love the desert landscaping, I love the people because we have people from all over the United States that are living here. Overall, our politics here are very neutral, even though the more people move here from California with their screwed up things over there, they're tending to bring them over here, which the local residents don't really like. But ultimately, if you can stomach the hot couple months that we're going to have here, you're going to really enjoy it. You get to spend more time in your backyard and less time in your house. There's so many things to do here. You can go hiking and biking and rafting, and you can travel throughout the state. The northern Arizona area has the really great weather. When it's too hot down in the valley, you can get away for a weekend, or it's a quick flight over to California for a couple-day getaway and go to the ocean over there. So I hope this video was helpful. We hate to talk about the ugly truths about Phoenix, but we are having a lot of negatives here as well as positives. There's no perfect place in the United States to live, but overall right now I call the greater Phoenix area my home, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Thanks for watching today. Watch some of our other videos. Have a great day.